Right now, KNOE 8 News live at 6, your breaking news and weather authority.
Well, it's been another wet day, and with more rain on the way, there is a risk of flooding. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Andrews. Chief Meteorologist Marcus Walter joins us now with the details. Marcus?
All right, thanks a lot, Jennifer. And yes, we are talking about a flooding concern for the western half of our viewing area, including for those of us right here in Monroe and Ouachita Parish. In these areas, we could pick up an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain in a short period of time, and that could lead to some aerial flooding across our region. So this map highlights the counties and parishes that are dealing with the flooding concern. And as we look at the radar, we're dealing with heavy batches of rain spread out across the Arklamis. We'll tell you more about this rain and when we'll see some relief in just a few minutes.
All right, well, the Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education is calling for more resource officers at schools. Dorothea Wilson spoke to board members about it today and joins us now. What are they saying, Dorothea?
Well, Jennifer, Bessie board member Michael Mellering proposed an increase in school resource officers as a resolution for additional school safety.
During the Louisiana School Safety Summit, which brought system leaders and law enforcement together, it was discovered that more than 500 Louisiana schools were without service officers.
That is, in my opinion, way too many.
Michael Mellering, a board member, says service officers are important, but he knows they come with a cost.
It's not an answer that's going to fix everything, but if we can help one kid, one teacher not encounter a situation, not become injured, hopefully, God forbid, not a school shooting, is worth it to me. The benefits greatly outweigh any cost that we may have.
Ouachita Parish Bessie member Ashley Ellis says more service officers is a good idea for any area, including Northeast Louisiana.
Resource officers are important.
But she too realizes that there must be compensation.
We don't want to mandate something and not fund it, and that's always the challenge, is how do we pay for this?
Ellis says while she and the other board members will continue to work on funding, Ouachita Parish schools have resources available now.
So a grant that's available to schools right now that they could apply for, I think it's $500,000 for school security.
Hear more from Bessie board member Ashley Ellis in Ouachita Parish, who says service officers are vital to schools, tonight at 10. Back to you, Jennifer.
All right, meantime, it was a day to celebrate future educators at ULM today. The school held a signing day for 11 future teachers who will attend ULM or Delta Community College. Tyler Englander joins us now, and I hear this is really part of a bigger event, Tyler?
Jennifer, that's right. ULM hosted its annual Educators Rising Campus Day for high school students interested in becoming teachers. ULM School of Education partners with 8 school districts from across Northeast Louisiana to offer a pre-educator pathway program. In the program, students get a head start in earning credits toward a teaching degree. Today, nearly 100 students attended, with 11 committing to ULM or Louisiana Delta Community College to study education.
To help high school students build a mindset for teaching before we focus so much on content and what it means to teach makes them such stronger students when they get into our programs. We've already had students as completers of these programs come to ULM, and they have so much insight already.
Now, students who signed with Delta will go there for 2 years before completing their coursework at ULM. Coming up tonight at 10, hear from a Bessie board member on how the program helps alleviate Louisiana's teacher shortage. Jennifer?
Thank you. In Crime Watch tonight, a arrested man has been sentenced to 170 months in prison. Authorities say during a traffic stop, Howard Jackson had a loaded gun, meth, marijuana, oxycodone, and a scale. He pleaded guilty last November. Well, 3 young women were killed in a Ouachita Parish crash this morning. The sheriff's office says, according to the initial investigation, the driver apparently lost control of the vehicle about 12:30 in the 100 block of Old Highway 15 and then hit a tree. They say Kiara McCraw, Anisha Coleman, and Anisha Coleman died at the scene. Well, the Louisiana Humane Society has come up with a $15 million plan to address the overpopulation of animals in the state. Well, many rural parishes lack a shelter, so veterinarians are left to try to fill the gap. Charles Burkett reports.
Ducky the dog was dropped off at Jonesboro Animal Clinic to be euthanized. But because he was a healthy dog, the veterinarian didn't perform the procedure.
Fortunately, at my practice, not that often, because we've kind of set guidelines and, said that we're not going to do that on a regular basis.
The doctors in rural areas are faced with drop-off animals, and some have to resort to putting a healthy animal down.
Other practices that I have worked at, they have partnered very closely with other shelters and humane societies, and they have had to do more of the euthanasia.
According to PAWS of Northeast Louisiana, statewide more than 95,000 animals are euthanized each year.
As a vet clinic, we sure don't have room to keep the homeless pets, but
multiple times a day about pets that are roaming the streets, that are hurt, that are starving, and there's really nowhere for them to go and no one to call.
Even if there was the option to have the animal spayed or neutered, there's a cost that has to come out of the pockets of the veterinarian. Spay or neuter costs $65 in supplies alone. There are also costs of the doctor and her employees' time.
I think the biggest need, especially in our area at this time, is just to have a shelter, period. So we need some type of temporary holding facility where these pets can be taken.
According to Jeff Dorson of the Louisiana Humane Society, a plan is in the works that would allocate $15 million to help shelters. One solution that's included would add facilities for shelters to parish prisons. Jared Ferguson of the Heart of Louisiana Humane Society hopes it will gain support.
Any program to help, take some relief off the shelters.
Supporters are now looking for a sponsor to introduce the plan to the Louisiana legislature. Charles Burkett, KNOE 8 News.
All right, coming up, how the heroic actions of a Northeast Louisiana man has developed into a Hollywood story. Aaron Dietrich has a special edition of What's Your Story after the break.
Young Sheldon.
Well, it's a story of how a local man stepped into action, saving lives, that has now been turned into a movie. Well, Emmy-nominated feature writer Aaron Dietrich joins us now with his story. Aaron?
Hey, Jennifer, this is truly a remarkable story. It features a series of events that Hollywood screenwriters dream about. In this edition of What's Your Story, an Archibald resident relives the most terrifying moments of his life and the powerful message that came with it. In a cluttered Northeast Louisiana office, milestone moments from Doug White's life are on display.
It's still hard to think about what happens, even 14 years later, so yeah, it's surreal.
There's one remarkable story that continues to captivate the country.
Let's slow down on the interview, nothing personal.
Doug is about to go Hollywood, with actors lining up to portray him.
Sam Elliott was choice number one. Sam Elliott was choice number one with his voice, and then number two would have been Quaid.
Here's good people trying to live their life the right way, do the right thing.
14 years ago, a terrifying tale played out that has now been developed into a faith-based feature film.
I moved on from why, and now I just say thank you. I just say thank you.
How long's the flight, Daddy?
If you start taking a nap on the runway, when you wake up, we'll be back home in Louisiana.
After attending his brother's funeral, Doug was anxious to return home from Florida with his wife and 2 daughters.
If you weren't on the plane and you don't know what happened and what did not happen, they did not Hollywood it up too bad. Everything is pretty true to life.
Mid-flight, the pilot suffers a stroke and passes away. On a wing and a prayer, White is pressed into action.
Were you scared? Well, I'd have been terrified, blah, blah. Well, first of all, you never know how you're going to react until you're thrown into it. It's kind of like being in combat, I guess, for the first time.
It's real bad up here. I can't control this airplane.
When I got in there, it looked like the space shuttle to me.
I got declared emergency. My pilot's unconscious. I need help up here.
You can ask why this, why that, why did Joe die, why didn't he die on the way down there, why didn't he die standing on the ramp when we were loading luggage, why, but you can speculate until the cows come home. Theory, my belief was, if I was going to die, I'm going to die trying not to.
After a near-death experience, no one would have ever blamed White and his family if they did not want to get within 30 miles of an airport.
I'm either going to get back on the horse that threw me or never get back on again. So I made the decision, I'm going to learn how to fly this airplane. They take the back of your shirt out.
White got his pilot's license and then proceeded to fly relief efforts across the country and world.
I learned real quick, you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised this afternoon. So let's stay in the moment, do what we're supposed to do, try to help other folks.
Here we go. Now White's message will be played out on the big screen. On a Wing and a Prayer will be released to a worldwide audience on Friday.
The good Lord was definitely in control of the things. He's the one that delivered us, and I wanted him to get the credit.
White says it has been a rewarding experience, even if it does not translate into a financial windfall.
You learn about Hollywood's golden rule is they've got all the gold, so they make all the rules. So we got nothing. I got a hat out of the deal, and I got a movie poster.
That's Doug's story. What is yours? I'd love to tell it. Just send me an email at aaron.dietrich@knoe.com.
All right, well, efforts continue to help tornado victims in Mississippi. We have joined the Salvation Army for a relief effort. Just text MS Tornadoes to 51555. We also have a link on KNOE.com. All right, you are looking live at the City of Monroe on the Creed and Creed Tower Cam. Marcus has your forecast right after the break. Stay with us.
Closed captioning. Right now, your KNOE 8 News hour-by-hour forecast.
Well, good evening, everyone. Here's a look at our Creed and Creed Tower Cam, and it shows that we have clouds and we have rain showers falling across the city of Monroe. And this is the case for a lot of areas in the ArkLaMiss this afternoon, this evening. We're dealing with wet weather. And as we take a look at the weather headlines, we have flooding concerns that are also out there. These will be with us for the next hour to 2 hours. Then after that, our threat for flooding should drop down. It should subside. But as we look toward Friday, we'll continue with rain showers out there. But then pleasant weather is on the way for the holiday weekend. Now, I mentioned that flooding threat, that flooding concern. We have flood watches that cover most of our, if not all of our western parishes and western counties. This watch stays active at least through 7 p.m. and it's because of some of the recent rain we have seen and then the additional rain that's on the way. And when we take a look at Doppler 8 radar, we have some heavy pockets of rain now approaching Monroe as we speak, or at least southern Ouachita Parish. So expect some heavy rain to be impacting you in Chatham and then eventually up toward Monroe and Sterlington. And then as we look farther toward the north and east, Oak Grove, Pioneer, and then also Epps, you're dealing with some heavier pockets of rain falling as we speak. But when we take a look at the satellite radar over the last 4 hours or so, we have seen a good amount of rain develop and move across our region, and more rain is expected as we head toward this evening. This is a snapshot at 8:30 p.m., likely dealing with heavy rain showers all across the ArkLaMiss. Then we'll see some breaks in some of the wet weather, but it still will be pockets of heavy rain farther to the south and east. And then we're expecting more rain as we head toward Friday, especially Friday morning. It does look like by the time we get to Friday afternoon and Friday evening, we do start to dry out, and we may deal with a spotty rain shower early Saturday morning, but after that, drier weather will definitely be taking over. Now here's a look at the additional rain that we could experience across our region from now through Saturday morning. Some areas could pick up an additional 2 inches. This particular model suggesting that we could pick up almost 3 inches more of rain here in Ouachita Parish, here in Monroe. So that's something we definitely have to keep an eye on for flooding. But as we switch gears and talk about temperatures, because of the clouds, because of the rain, it was a pretty chilly day today. Temperatures right now sitting at 54 degrees. And across our region, we're dealing with temperatures anywhere from the upper 40s in El Dorado to mid 50s in Monroe to upper 50s as we look toward Natchez. So it's chilly out there, it's damp out there, it's wet out there. And unfortunately, we still have a little more rain to go before we dry out. Tonight, rain showers in the forecast, temperatures down to 51 degrees. And the 7-day forecast shows that, well, we have pleasant weather on the way for the weekend and more rain by next Thursday.
The team you trust for your local weather.
Right now, KNOE 8 Sports.
These things don't just happen because you can shoot and play. It's your time right now.
LSU President William Tate will not be the first or last to get fired up at a championship ceremony. The national champion Lady Tigers continue to be the toast of the state. Head coach Kim Mulkey, she's relishing every moment of it.
Remember this in life as we leave here today. Today, I gave all I had. What I kept, I've lost forever. Treat each day and give it everything you have, people, because there's no promise tomorrow. Go Tigers, you're the national champions!
Yeah, it was a remarkable scene down in Tiger Town. Of course, being in front of the cameras is nothing new to Mulkey. Longtime KNOE viewers certainly remember the Lady Texas coaches shows back when Kim was one of the featured speakers.
But our girls went out there, played hard. The fans were into it. We had a great night of fan support.
School colors have changed through the years, but Kim Mulkey's message has not. Coming up on Friday, she'll join us live on the Morning Drive. We'll discuss Lady Tigers' national championship run, perhaps some of her best memories when she was a player, then an assistant coach with the Lady Texters. Friday morning, 7:45 on KMLB, 105.7 on the FM dial, and then 540 on AM. Grambling State has a new women's basketball coach, as Courtney Simmons will now be running the program. In 10 seasons as an assistant at Troy, the Trojans won 5 Sun Belt Conference titles. Simmons will formally be introduced next Wednesday. She replaces Freddie Murray, who was fired after going 92-115 in 7 seasons. Unfortunately, this could be a common sight this weekend. Mother Nature threatening to spoil a great Easter weekend of softball and baseball. ULM versus Marshall suspended in the second inning with the Warhawks down 3-2. The game will resume Friday at 5, followed up by a doubleheader on Saturday. ULM has dropped 6 of the last 8, looking to turn things around, and they're off to a great start versus App State. They lead 10-2. Diamond Dogs on a 3-game losing streak, ready to snap it versus Rice, but weather conditions have postponed tonight's game. Game 1 between Tech and Rice will be Friday at 6:30, followed up by a doubleheader on Saturday. Number 1 ranked Tigers traveling to South Carolina for a top 10 matchup. Tigers fall behind early in this one in the second. They trail 2-0. And due to bad weather, Grambling's moving its home series against Texas Southern to a doubleheader Saturday starting at 1, followed up by a 1 o'clock start on Sunday. Lady Texters were able to squeeze in a doubleheader in Birmingham today. UAB takes game 1 4-1. Texters respond in game 2 with a 5-2 victory. Lady Texters in 7th place in the Conference USA standings. They'll be looking to win the series tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
All right, ladies, congratulations. Y'all the team of the week.
Caldwell softball certainly fired up, and rightfully so. The Spartans with over 3,500 votes for our weekly Team of the Week internet poll. Caldwell with some big wins against state-ranked opponents like Tioga and Claiborne Christian.
I would say very confident right now. We've beat some very good teams as of late, played some good teams. Even the teams we've lost to has been good teams. We wanted to schedule hard this year, so I would say that we're making the right steps, doing the right thing. So hopefully, like I said, that transpires us to the rest of the year.
I'd say we have a lot of confidence right now. We finally have our eyes open to how good we can be and how good we're going to be with the help of our community and our school and our coaches.
What a day out at Richwood. 4 basketball stars signed on the dotted line. Plenty of hugs to go around on this special day. Former Aaron's Ace, Courtney McCarthy, and Jaquinton Jackson are heading to Baton Rouge Community College. Davion Jackson signs with Jarvis Christian, and Chelsea Woodard is heading to Southern University at Shreveport.
I came a long way from where I was last year. I never would have thought I made it to this point, so with hard work, I appreciate that. My mom, my family, especially my mom.
It took a lot of hard work. Through morning, work out in the morning, throughout the day, and at night.
Baton Rouge Community College doing extremely well recruiting Northeast Louisiana stars. They're getting a playmaker in Carroll guard Rictavian Johnson.
Here every day after school, early in the morning, 6 a.m. work, trying to get this, and I got it now. I'm excited.
Signing partners are the norm for Ouachita's basketball program. The Lions have 3 signed, and they're all heading to Southern University at Shreveport. The terrific trio of Jonathan Bradshaw, Jordan Davis, and Grimmy Wilhite are anxious to make a bigger name for themselves in the college game.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't expect that many people to come, but to see all them people come, it's like so much love.
You're not gonna forget my name, you know. You gonna remember Jeremy White.
Really excited, man. I didn't think I was gonna come out the season with an offer, but you know, pulled through.
Congratulations to them. That's your look at sports. We got more news and weather coming up after the break.
KNOE.com, your breaking news and weather authority.
And one final check of your forecast. Tonight, temperatures down to 51 degrees, rain showers in the forecast, and it will be breezy at times. Tomorrow, we'll see temperatures near 57 degrees, but rain showers will still be the story in the morning. Will be drier by the late afternoon, and then we continue to dry out throughout the evening. 7-day forecast shows that we'll be dry for the holiday weekend. Things look great for Easter Sunday, and then much of next week we are dry, but we have rain chances showing up by Thursday.
All right, thank you, Marcus. That's our time for now. We will see you back here tonight at 10. Until then, have a great night, everybody.